with that, some game news.
Oh boy.
We begin with Microsoft had their legal and corporate affairs boss, Brad Smith, released a statement this week to battle the ongoing controversy about Microsoft's relationship with the U.S. government and all the snooping allegations and controversies that's been swarming ever since, of course, Edward Snowden leaked government information to the internet before going into hiding overseas. Well, Microsoft even went as far as to claim that they were working on a ton of new tech and high-class security to protect their systems, including the cloud services, from hackers, including potential government snooping, though we'll continue to work within the law and with the government when it comes to sharing information when the situation calls for it. However, wanting to remain transparent as possible to the public about just what kind of information they might be sharing, something they and the other companies like Google are actually still in legal battles with the U.S. government over. And staying with Microsoft, there's a lot of wording Microsoft is sending out lately with about various things that could brick the new Xbox One. One is a method of turning on the dev kit system, which is not part of the firmware and all that quite yet. Yes, the Xbox One will eventually be able to make games. That dev kit system is there for a reason, but it's not implemented. Do not play with it.
Do not do it. Unless you like a $500 paperweight, don't turn it to dev mode ever.
All those 3DO people are starting to say, yep. Anyway.
Yep.
That was bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was mean.
There's also a popular guide running around claiming it can make the Xbox One backwards compatible. That's also something you do not want to be messing with. That apparently also bricks the system. There's also a guide from the Microsoft that was made to help folks navigate an Xbox One system. So, is it that much more complicated and convoluted than the 360 was, or am I missing something here? I understood it was a water cooler TV.
That's what I understood.
I thought it was a water cooler. I was expecting refreshments that talks about glorious drink. Instead, talking about development mode and backwards compatible. And
we wanted water that was 1080p, dagnabbit.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of the big consoles, apparently Battlefield 4 has been having some major issues. Bad enough that the confidence in EA from investors hurt them a bit this week, but DICE is swearing that all other focus has been taken away from its other endeavors until the glitches and server problems are fixed.
And, well, one of the niche gaming icons is shutting down his Neverland company. The folks behind Lufia series and the Rune Factory games are filing for bankruptcy. However, one last surprise is in store as Rune Factory producer Yosufumi Yashimoto, whoa, did I actually say a Japanese name right? Did say that there was going to be one more product in the works, and it's presumably Rune Factory 5, as it's already been talked about being well underway.
The hugely popular and profitable League of Legends tournaments are currently some of the biggest in the world for esports, and Riot seems to be making sure that it stays that way. Part of a new contract was leaked this week stating they will ban any players from competing if they discover said players are streaming any other competitive games than League of Legends, such as Dota 2, StarCraft 2, those kind of games.
What?
The rationalization from Riot's esports director Waylon Roselle was that it was similar to a Nike sponsor finding out their player is on camera wearing Reeboks, and that those players are the face of competitive League of Legends, and what they do reflects on the tournament and Riot games. But of course, there was a ton of backlash from that, so late last night, Roselle clarified teams and players can't accept sponsorship from other game companies to promote other titles. Besides that, they are free to stream any games they want.
Oh, okay, that's not so bad. At first, I was just like, clarify things.
Yes. Well, I think that was actually a change in policy, personally, because that does not sound like what they said.
They tried to be themselves when people freaked out.
And more evidence of the decline in common sense of humanity. Not unlike Nintendo's self-censoring of one of their Wii U apps, now Twitch has already removed the PlayStation 4's Playroom directory after the majority of it was being used for not only non-gaming content, but inappropriate comments and behavior, the most famous of which was a user stripping his partner's clothes off after prolonged on-stream drinking. Yep.
Speaking of Nintendo, Naughty Dog co-founder and once president of the Fallen THQ, Jason Rubin, has joined the ranks of many who say Nintendo's era in consoles looks to be over and to take their much-beloved titles to multi-platform. He called Nintendo a worldwide treasure. To concrete the danger Nintendo's console is in, both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One have in a couple of weeks already sold a quarter as many as the Wii U since its launch last year. Nintendo, of course, stated in previous news stories is hoping the trove of games coming out between now and spring will bring much-needed life to the system. Of course, they're still the big kahuna as far as the handheld market goes.
And how? And TMZ, so you know this is important, TMZ broke the all-important story that Lindsay Lohan is going to sue Rockstar Games for the unauthorized use of her picture, which nobody knows which exactly in question, as well as the character in game that you help escape paparazzi in a crazy car chase, being debatably based on her. Okay.
Debatably.
I would call that parody, and I think that lawsuit's going nowhere, but whatever. But best of all is 2K Sports' latest basketball game, NBA 2K14, will reportedly give you a technical foul if the connector PS camera hears you using a curse word during the game. All in an attempt to create create a more civilized online environment. So naturally, gamers will not like this one bit, but I think it's hilariously awesome.
I think that's awesome.
That's just me.
So you can't turn it off. You have to keep your voice thing on.
I'm kind of tired of curse words being reduced to common language in today's society because curse words exist for a reason, folks. So it's actually a shame we've trivialized them so much like we have in everything else. They don't have impact if you use them all the time. Oh, well.
But I like my cusses.
I'll kick my soapbox away now. And Grover.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Awesome news.
That's not what you meant, but, remember Alexander J. Velicki, the guy who spent thousands of hours making arguably the most impressive mod of all time called Volkscar for Skyrim, and all the attempt to land a job at Bethesda? Christmas came early, but he's not working for who many might have thought. He's at Bungie. The former Halo makers are now hard at work in their new blockbuster Destiny. Alexander left us today on the Bethesda forums as part of his thing to the supporters. Never be afraid to try. I set my sights on a professional design job pretty early. I'll lower my head, charge forward, and rarely look back. He also added that despite the love of his new job at Bungie, he fully expects he'll be making mods for Fallout 4 when it comes out.
And more nifty news that 100 more Greenlight titles are making it to Steam, including one I've had my eye on for a while called Saturday Morning RPG. Plus, Final Fantasy VIII also made the Steam appearance this week. And one more bit of news that I already thought was actually a done deal when Disney bought Lucas's properties, but this week Disney only now officially owns the rights to Indiana Jones after buying it from Paramount Studios. And that's pretty much our game news for December 7th, 2013, and pretty much the end of our show as well, unless we have any parting thoughts.
Stuff.
Things and the stuffs. You guys said it all. So follow us on Twitter at PrinnyCast, and you can contact us with email at PrinnyCast@gmail.com. Find the rest of our links to YouTube and Twitch channels and all that other stuff that we sometimes actually use down below. And we will be back next week. I can't promise after that point we may be gone for quite a while, and hopefully all this snowstorm stuff isn't keeping anybody out of power out there. Of course, if you're out of power, there's a pretty good chance you aren't watching this right now. Sledding down the trees. Oh, no white Christmas for you yet.
We either get no snow or extreme blizzards.
We'll all see you next week.
See you later.